So I'm live. I'm live. I'm not doing any art tonight. I'm not doing any editing tonight. I'm not doing anything tonight. I'm just hanging out with you guys. I've had an incredibly shitty day. And another weird day. I'm okay. I'm okay. Just having a bit of a moment. Nothing super depressing or anything. I mean, I was depressed, but basically I'm mostly just annoyed and angry, and I'm done. I am done with that. Oh. How you doing, Howard? What is up? Just get home from errands. Cool. Cool. Dreamy's cool. Thanks for the hugs, dude. Honestly, I do need some. Hey, Jeffrey. Is it about anybody that came on the stream before? Is it? I don't think so. It's actually a few people that are just bugging the crap out of me. So yeah. Well, it is making me feel better just hanging out. So already it's making me feel better. So I'm going to list a few things. Now there's a few people in here. I'm going to list in a bit. I'm going to list a few things that have basically been happening just today. That's just like it just peaked with the bullshit. But honestly, I just how you doing, Dreamy? How's your day? How's your post-birthday been? And now my keyboard won't come out. Oh, my eyes. Also another thing. That sounds cool, Dreamy. Glad you're doing well. And Jeffrey, how are you doing? What have you been up to? Chris is talking to me over Discord, which is nice. Itchy's talking to me over Discord, so that's, yeah. So dealing with the lack of depth perception is really annoying. This eye's playing up again. I know. I'm not going to talk about the eye too much. It is one of the problems, but I'm not going to talk about it too much. Honestly. Well, thanks, Jeffrey, but like, we'll get to that. We'll get to the bullshit. We'll get to the bullshit. But yeah. By the way, when I say I don't care, I realized that I said I don't care the description of the video. I don't care about other stuff, but of course, you guys, my friends, I basically do care about. So I don't mean that when I'm talking to you guys. So Itchy's on Discord. He basically said that his back hurts. He's been doing a lot of building furniture today, which has been nice. Maybe, I guess, I don't know. But he says his back hurts. So I basically said that you can rest your lower back on my belly and I'll rub your shoulders. And he says, oh my God, yes, please. And to be honest, that does sound quite nice, even for me. Really? It's not that intimate. It's just a back rub. I do that for Damon sometimes as well. It's quite soothing for me as well. You know. I hope that does too. That does sound like an interesting game. I do hope it works out. There's touching involved. Well, yes, I guess that could be intimate. But they get sort of hugs and stuff. Let me get some background music in here. It's a bit quiet. I don't have back problems. I never really need back rubs. My back's usually very strong. It doesn't really need back rubs. And although I don't mind getting back rubs, it's a little bit bore sometimes. I think that's all of the files, so I'll just open them, play with media player. Jeffrey, you and Chris both said the same thing. You and Itchy both said the same thing. No, I'm still in these clothes. Hopefully I'm going to use the hot tub tomorrow before we go to the fireworks thing. Fireworks thing wasn't tonight, it's tomorrow night. It's actually a fun fair / fireworks, so that's interesting. You like back rubs, but head scratches are where it's at. I don't know. I just like hugs, you know. I find that somebody keeps rubbing the same area, because that's what Daryl does. Whenever we're hugging for long periods of time, he'll keep rubbing like my arm or my belly or my shoulder or something. And although I like belly rubs, holy crap, does it get annoying sometimes. Just, yeah. Okay. Okay, so my problems. this annoying cold thing that I think is going away, but it's going away very slowly. So I've had this weird annoying cold thing, thanks to Damon. Damon's over his one now, which is nice. But I'm still feeling a bit on and off. You know, every morning I kind of wake up and I feel either shitty or just generally unpleasant, like I got a cold. And then like some, and it's just it's bugging the crap out of me, and I hope it goes away. And it feels like it is going away. I feel better and better, but then again, I might just be getting used to it, which is nice. If we're going to talk biological functions, then what else is wrong with me is that basically I have a what appears to be a spot without a head. Just randomly appeared on my dick. So that happened like yesterday. I couldn't figure out why. But basically it means that meantime is out of the question, which is fun. It's not gross or anything. It literally is just like, it's just a little tiny bump without a head. And it feels like a spot. It's just randomly on like the base of my penis, which is fun. That might be a bit too much information, but yeah, whatever. The other thing is my eye seems to be having lots of fun being all kinds of annoying as crap. And it's nothing to do with my eyelashes. It's nothing to do with whatever I did. It's whatever there's like, you know, some days it will be just completely fine, and apart from the random tiny little irritation from the eyelashes, and then sometimes it will be like it is doing now, which is like all of today. I've just had this annoying, like it's making a lot of gunk for no reason. I think I'm actually going to have to go to the doctor and figure this out, because this is just, yeah. I've had absolutely no appetite today. I have no idea what that's about either. Like I've eaten, and I've eaten well, but I just have like you know, I've made my food, been excited about eating the food, and then when I'm actually eating the food, it's just like, yeah. But that could be just random depression bullshit. Okay. So yeah, that's all the biological bullshit out of the way, I guess. I had a few things about work. Oh my god, there's a few things about work that work. My other job is basically being a scientific advisor. You know, person who reads the papers that people write about certain topics and stuff. And I proofread a bunch of stuff. And basically, like, I've come across, and this is just a work thing. Basically, I've come across somebody who seems to be a serial plagiarism person. They have just taken a bunch of other people's work and like combined it. Like that's it. That's all they did. They didn't even change up some of the format. It's weird. But it's like, so yeah. And when I called out, you know, I told somebody about this, and they were like, "Well, there's nothing that we can really do about it, because basically it's not that serious of a company. You might just want to just tell them that it's like I've seen this here and here and here. So I've basically been following up all of the links to other people's papers that this person has been plagiarizing in one specific paper." And I told them about it. I basically sent them a message, and then they said that basically that like they asked me, they just sent me an email back saying one simple thing, and it was like, "Have you told other people about this?" You know, and I was like, "Yes, I've told." I've told everybody that needs to know about this, including some of the people that you have taken work from. Just try not to do it again. You know, it's very simple. I then didn't hear from them at all, but I basically got, and I know this is like it's completely bullshit because yeah, I've been I'm going to be potentially sued for slander. So there's that. I've basically been to somebody who's in legal at my company, at the company that I work for, and they basically said that they don't worry about it and everything. It's actually not, it's actual bullshit. They've kind of got no grounds to basically say that you have like said you've misrepresented that person in any other way than what they were. And I was like, yeah, that's what I thought, but this is like a legal document that I got. It said that basically further papers will be through the mail. So that happened basically yesterday, but today it's basically just been escalating. So yeah, there's that. But it's just the random kind of like the intensity that all of this stuff is happening with. It's kind of a thing. It's like it doesn't. I got a bit anxious because it was like I don't have any money. What can they take from me? If they win. And it's only a split second, but it's really worrying and shit. So yeah, awesome. That's but yeah, apart from that and the other bullshit that's happening with my charity work, on my counselling job, I've basically just with the charity job, the bullshit is just the same bullshit. It just seems to be involving a lot more people than I expected it to, including some people that I basically trusted, but I mean, this could all be hearsay, but when you basically hear something that somebody basically says to you, they say to you that this friend that you've got, like, it also thinks this about you. I'm not the only one that thinks it. This friend that we both have them as friends. They also think this about you. You kind of like, although you think to yourself, you're supposed to think to yourself, I know that person. They would never say this bullshit. It's all crap. It's all bullshit. You kind of start thinking you can't help it, but you do also have that other thought, and I keep having this thought. It's like, what if they do think that about me and for that? And I don't even care. I don't even care. But yeah, I must do somehow because it's bugging me. So yeah, I've been dealing with that for the past. Actually, that's fairly new. That was like 4 hours ago that happened. So that's nice. But I basically just said to my friend that there's a person that out at the counselling job who is talking shit about you basically. So yeah. And yeah, so that's the professional stuff out of the way, I guess. Okay, so the side job that I've got is basically doing artwork and freelance artist person and stuff like that. I also tutor a couple of people on how to do art and stuff. I kind of do it like I don't do it for money or anything. I literally just like it's just a kind of thing that happens sometimes. I'm just asked my opinion on something, and then basically they want like, could you tell me how to do eyes better, or could you tell me how to do like reflective light and refractive light and stuff like that? And it's like, you know, normally I don't care. Normally I'm like, sure, that sounds good. You know, I enjoy that, especially because that shows that basically that they like my work enough to basically ask me for my opinions and stuff, and I like doing that. So I don't usually ask for money for that at all. But there's there's a couple of people that basically there's a couple of people that actually pay me to tutor them in some art classes and stuff like that, and to make some art videos for them and stuff. And yeah, fun. It's actually a lot of fun, because I usually just draw something that I'm currently working on, and then like yeah, and they either pay me a flat rate or they pay me for an actual drawing, you know. So it's like it's very handy and helpful and nice, you know. But yeah, this one person who basically has been kind of randomly turning nasty for no reason, you know, because they first of all, they basically say that they're actually really good. They're way better at drawing than me. So I never understand why they want my help for something. They usually ask for criticism and stuff like that, you know, about things that they missed on their picture and stuff like that. And that's fine. I like it. I like doing that. It's it's good. And I'd like to think that they can basically, that they keep asking me because they think that I can be honest. But they have a hugely low opinion of themselves. And basically, like, well, at least I thought that until recently, where they have been, the last few times they basically have asked me for tips and for criticism. They basically have been like, yeah, they've been very kind of, they've not only been down on their own work, but they've also been very um, sarcastic sounding. And it's, you know, they'll throw in a, you know, like, I see what you mean about this, and that the arm might be a bit too long, but you know, and don't take this the wrong way, but I mean, in your work, you obviously don't know much about proportions. And it's like, okay then. It's like, but no, your work is great. They'll say your work is, and yeah, but no, it's been that's been escalating. And it got to the point where this morning I basically I checked my DeviantArt, because they talk to me on DeviantArt most of the time. I checked my DeviantArt notes, and basically so it was a response to something that they asked me to critique for them. And it was basically like, your opinion's bullshit. I don't think it was basically like, your opinion's bullshit. You know, like I know that this art piece is good. You know, who asked you anyway? And it's like, I went back in all the messages and I was like, yeah, they did definitely ask me for my opinion on this piece. And we've been talking about it for the past 2 weeks. Especially since just recently also, they've just been saying, well, like, you're just a furry artist. They've basically been inferring that I'm just a furry artist. It's like I do a bunch of stuff. The furrier is just the stuff that I mostly show because it's what people are interested in, and it's what I get most asked to do. So yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, there's that person. Well, there's that person. There's another person who basically is he's very much like Jack. They seem to be fixated on drawing one thing over and over and over again, and yeah, I don't know. They might be autistic, but they've never said. But it's just the vibe I'm getting. But no, they basically are brutally honest about my work, even when I don't even though I basically don't say, you know, I want opinions on this or something. They'll just, if anything, anytime I post something to DeviantArt, they'll basically be like, they'll reference it, you know, to me while they're talking to me. So, yeah. Wait, sarcasm? That's just rude jab. I know, right? That's rude jabs. Yeah, I know, but that's just yeah. So there's that. There's also a thing that's been happening over the past couple of weeks. It could be longer. It feels like it's been happening over the past couple of weeks. I don't think it's been. It's the weird timing, isn't it? Because it's the second day of the month. Well, it's third day now. So yeah, so another thing is, of course, the videos on YouTube. I'll talk about this on a case-to-case basis because there's at least 3 things I want to moan about, and I do realize I am moaning. I know I'm moaning. So the first thing is that basically there's a guy who rarely wants me to do inflation videos, and he has potentially been in the chat before a couple of times, I think, actually now. But he basically is. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but holy crap, he's got a one-track mind. And yeah, he just really wants me to do inflation videos, and basically he keeps offering me money, and then not delivering. You know, basically I keep telling him the exact same thing, and I've told him the same thing over and over and over again. In the past, you know, that's been fine. However, just recently he keeps trying to vote. He keeps trying to send me. He sends me individual emails, basically just saying inflation week, because he thinks that's the way you can vote. And even though I've told him already that you can only email me your vote once. You know, I'll get a random email saying inflation week. So there's that. But yeah, he basically he's been doing this, and like I said, over the past 2 weeks, he's been even more insistent. And very occasionally he would basically be like, you know, I'm unsubscribed from your channel. You're not doing inflation videos anymore. I've unsubscribed. You know, even though I've offered to pay you for these videos, I've unsubscribed. I'm not coming back. You know, goodbye forever. And it was like, okay, bye. And then like 2 days later, well, it's probably just 1 day, but it feels it's weird. He'll just like be like, "I'm really sorry for what I said. I was drunk, or I was stoned, or something," and it was just like, oh, doesn't matter, you know. I blocked him at one point a while ago. I blocked him, But no, he just came back with a different email address. It's the same guy, definitely the same guy. But yeah, he has made several dummy accounts, or is on several dummy accounts, and is pestering me from several different dummy email addresses, and they're all definitely the same person. They're all definitely the same guy, but he's posing as different people, including one girl who apparently finds me super attractive and really wants to see this and this and this. Everything that he said, by the way, in the past, you know. And then basically, yeah, then like one of his personas has turned nasty against me. Yeah, it's kind of funny, but at the time, it's just kind of like it's weird and disturbing, and I just wanted it to stop. I just so yeah. If there's a way to block IP addresses, I'm gonna find it, because yeah. Oh my god. So yeah. So there's that guy. There's another person who basically, oh fuck, what was it that they were complaining about? There's a lot of dudes with tunnel vision that show up here. I know, I've noticed that. Yeah. Well, by then, Lol sounds like he got some serious issues. It's yeah, that's the thing. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he is very persistent. So it's like yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, there's two other people that I want to moan at. Somebody on YouTube, a while ago used to take my videos and put them onto their channel. You know, just like clip them and put them onto the channel, onto their channel and stuff like that. And I don't mind people doing this. I don't mind people doing this at all. You know, I don't. As long as they tell me about it, or if I find it and stuff like that, then basically I don't mind. Just as long as like I've put something on it, you know, basically as long as it's me in the video, I would just say, I used to write in the comments to his videos of me, basically is like, huh, you know, like that's me, or hey, that's, you know, it's like hey, I know that person, or something like that. And they would just take these videos down. And I mentioned them a couple of days ago when somebody did the same thing. Oh no, somebody sent me a link to a video of me. It might have been Howard. I might have been talking to you about the morph guy, but yeah, it just randomly. So I'm being harassed on my Gmail account by this guy now, because apparently he's blaming me for his channel being taken down. Like you got your people to flag my videos and stuff, and I was just like, I haven't really thought about you for like a year. I'm sorry. Yeah, but now he's been persistently irritating. And basically it's like going to a bunch of my channels, and apparently he has been the reason that a bunch of my videos have been age restricted. It wasn't actually just YouTube being harsh, it's actually him like trying to mass flag videos and stuff like that. So yeah, it's actually quite funny, because he basically there's one message that he sent me that when he admitted it, this is how I know it's him. where he basically said, "What the fuck, you mass flagged my videos, and my channel got deleted. All of your channels are still up. I've flagged your videos, and all of your channels are still up. How do I get you taken down from the internet?" It's like, fucking hell, what the hell happened? So to that guy, I doubt he'd be watching, but to that guy, I'm sorry that your channel got taken down. It's been happening to a lot of people, including myself. My Tank and Tubs channel got deleted from YouTube not so long ago. And yeah, it's happening to a lot of people. But I had nothing to do with it. Like I just said, I have not thought about you at all. Basically, for the past year or so. It was a while ago that this happened. I mean, seriously, guys. Yeah. So there's that person. There's another person. So there's another person who basically is. This is the most worrying one. Who I'm basically going to have to. It's a person who's attempting to do the blackmail thing, and it's a little bit sinister. Because was it? It was like 2 months ago. It was two. I think it was 2 months ago, but I'm not entirely sure. So a couple months ago ish, somebody messaged me. Somebody messaged me on Facebook, I think it was, or something. Basically asking me why I wouldn't accept their friend request, and told me that they were a fan of my YouTube channel, and that they were sorry that the blackmailing had gotten my channel taken down. They thought that the blackmailing had got my channel taken down. So I was like, I basically explained to them that I don't accept friend requests from people that I don't know, especially now after the random blackmailing thing happened, and yeah, and also that I'm really sorry, but the blackmailing thing had nothing to do with the YouTube channel getting taken down. I think it did partially, actually, because basically when I was blackmailed, when the whole blackmail doxing bullshit was happening, I unlisted all my videos, and then I listed them all again, which opened them up to people basically mass flagging them, which is potentially what happened with the YouTube takedown. So yeah. But I don't think it's immediately related. I don't think those things both basically happened because of each other, kind of, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so this person basically did that, and then they got slightly bitchy with me because I wouldn't add them on Facebook, and basically it's just a thing. I'm hardly using Facebook nowadays. I was trying to tell them that I'm trying to phase Facebook out of my life. So yeah, after I blocked them, after they got even more bitchy and incomprehensible, I basically I blocked them. I had to block them because they were just yeah. I don't deal with that bullshit. Like I said, that's way too much bullshit for me. So yeah, fairly similar thing happened. Has been happening for the past 2 months. I've gotten a random bunch of messages from different people who all sound like this person. They might be different people. They might just be different people. Basically saying that they were sorry that my channel got taken down, and sorry for the blackmailing. I kind of think it's the same person, literally, because they basically keep linking these two things together in their messages to me. And they have been asking for I noticed a pattern. They were starting to ask for very, very individual pieces of information. Like one time this person would try to add me on Facebook and basically say that, you know, can I add you on Facebook? You know, like, or we could just talk on the phone. Do you have a Snapchat? Do you have this account? Do you have that account? And they're all different accounts that they want information on. And I just earlier today, it all came to a head. Or was it yesterday? Times. Fairly recently, it all came to a head where they were trying to tell me. I basically said to them, "Are you trying to dox me? Is that what's happening?" I basically said that I know it's, you know, I basically said to them that I know it's them, and that this won't work. It's stupid. Whatever you're trying to do, it's not going to work. I've noticed this pattern happening and stuff like that. And then they basically, all caps, just said that they will find where I live and they're going to come and kill me. So it's like, this was on Twitter, by the way. I think it was Twitter. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. I have gotten death threats in the past. You know, it's just that since my channel got taken down, since the Tankertubs channel has been taken down, I've not had any like super negativity to this point. So yeah, it basically made me get to a point earlier today, well, a few hours ago actually, where basically I was just in the mindset of just being frustrated, and pretty much anybody that basically says to me anything, I'm just like, I don't care, you know. So I don't care anymore. I'm not dealing with anything. I don't want to. I don't even want to upload any work or anything. I don't want to do any artwork. It just killed all my motivation. I just want to chill and be on holiday. I want a holiday. So yeah, I wanted to decompress because there's just all of this stuff happening, and I know it's not really a big deal. None of this is a big deal. It's all computer stuff, or my eye, or random phantom spot on my penis. You know, it's like, oh, I want to go to the place where I was happy and chilled and relaxed. You know, hence why I want to be on holiday. You know, I want basically. So I want to be on holiday. I want to be in Vegas now. I just want to be in Vegas now, by the pool, not giving a shit about anything that's happening outside of my immediate vicinity. You know. So yeah, that's the kind of mindset I was in. I was kind of like, you know, as much as I care about people, and I you know, I give a shit, but only to very specific people right now. You know. So yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry if I've missed stuff in the chat, but I just wanted to get all of this out because basically there's a lot to get out. There's a bunch of stuff that I've missed out. But wow, what the hell? What is the deal with all the pettiness of these people? I know, right? I know. You definitely need a break from it, all of this. I do. I do. It's clearly a big deal, even if they are individually small. The big change in your mood makes them a big deal. Well, yeah. It's just, why is this all happening like at once? Huh? I've already said to myself that basically I'm going to shut down my connection to work while Itchy's here. So basically, I'm going to have a break while he's here. It's going to be like a vacation for both of us. One of my co-workers almost got stabbed at work, so I know what kind of bullshit you deal with. Also, some arsehole customer almost got into it with a cashier where I work. Because life fucks with us like this, everything drops at the same time. Well, that's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so that's me. I kind of want to go to. I want to go to the pub, but I don't have any money. You know. Also, it's cold outside. I'm so glad Chris is going to see you to chill with you and have a good time. Well, hopefully that's going to happen. Hopefully that's going to happen. I'm really hoping, you know, I'm sure it's going to be great, but I'm really, really hoping that I'm really hoping that there's just no bullshit there. Thank you, Harold. Like I said, I need it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to basically getting up tomorrow and just even though it's a weekend. Drop into the hot tub. I can always use ice cream. And Krispy Kreme, I like Krispy Kreme. It literally will be like Vegas. Only colder. Fudge ice cream sounds nice. Don't know what fudge ice cream would be like. I'm imagining fudge, and there's even an ice cream flavored fudge that I've had. But yeah. I keep poking my phone because if you've got I keep playing a game which is like Army Battle Simulator or something. Fuck. Just threw my phone on the floor. So I keep poking my phone because you get rewards. I had started watching the Curious Creations show on Netflix, and they were talking about Battle Comes Out Loud. It's different and weird, but the things look spoopy and delicious. Oh, I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about. I'm going to try putting it back here where it was before when I threw it off the table. After I get back from Vegas, I get an option to upgrade my phone. So I won't have this phone anymore. Woo. I'm going to go back to an iPhone. I want to go on a cruise. Look at this random idea that basically Damon said a while ago about basically there's like he wants to go on a cruise, but he doesn't know where or when or what kind. I don't know, guys. What's your best idea for a holiday? I'm still okay with the Vegas thing. I'm scared to go on a cruise. I'd get seasick. You can't get sick on a cruise ship. You can't get seasick on a cruise ship. It would have to be incredibly choppy waters for you to get sick on a cruise ship. Never been on a boat ever. Well, I like boats. A cruise sounds fun. I worked on a boat for ages. Okay, for ages is an overstatement. For 6 months, I worked on a boat, so yeah. The cruise sounds nice. Plenty of food there for you, Tubbs. I know. That's one of the good things. And they've got like cinemas and they've got like shows and there's plenty of bars and pools and you know. And of course the food. Oh my god, the food. Oh my god. Well, that's one of the things that basically it's. I think my cousin said that he went. I think he went on one for his 30th birthday party, and he wants to go on an Alaskan cruise next, which is really fun. But he just hasn't found the time. I think he no. Oh, this is what he said to me. He said to me once he gets the okay for the gastric band surgery, he's going to go on a cruise and basically eat the crap out of himself. But no, he said it was great. It basically detailed everything to me that I would love about the cruise, and I was just like, I want to go. But yeah. Well, that's neat, Tubbs. I didn't know you did that. Oh yeah, when I was in the Navy, when I was in the naval cadets, the basically it's the naval reserves. When I was in the naval reserves, I basically I did a kind of a work experience thing. I was in the work experience program, and one of the things that I did, one of the jobs that I had the opportunity to apply for and got, was working on the HMS Belfast. Basically, as a tour guide and to clean up. It's basically being a janitor. That's all it was. But yeah, the HMS Belfast is a boat in London where it basically is just a floating boat in the Thames opposite the Tower of London, and it's just a tourist attraction, but it's an old battleship. So yeah, I worked there for 6 months. It was nice, but holy crap, the crew, because it actually has its own crew, you weren't considered to be one of the crew for some reason. You were just a temp in their eyes. But yeah, well, basically they fucking hate you. I found a really nice spot to have my lunch, and they basically kicked me. I got kicked out of that bit of the ship. It was like, oh, but there's nothing in here. It's like I don't care. You're an okay swimmer. Why would that be a thing on the cruise? It was basically tribalism, but yeah. Just any excuse that they had to basically push you around, they pushed you around. I mean, I didn't mind it so much because basically I've worked as a lifeguard, which was basically being a glorified janitor. So essentially, yeah, I didn't get like I didn't mind being told, it's like you can't do that. Go sweep the deck or whatever. I was like, okay, hell of a lot of sweeping. They wanted you to do sweeping. It was just to get somebody in uniform to sweep the deck or something, so that people thought you were doing something. I guess that's what it was. That wasn't very nice of them to do. Well, that's it. That's what I mean, though. You basically, you're just somebody to talk to, you know. If somebody basically, and to tell people not to cross certain ropes and stuff. And like for my first week there, I wasn't allowed to cross any ropes or anything. It was like, doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, there's nothing behind these ropes. They just don't want anybody to fall over stuff. That's all it was. But yeah, so like about halfway through my tour on the Belfast, I basically had my lunch, and I found a nice place in the boat, so I didn't have to leave the boat to have my lunch, because it's all expensive, and I used to bring my own lunch. You know, London, it's expensive. So yeah, I bought my own lunch, and I basically found a nice room, and I had my lunch in there like 2 days in a row, like 3 days in a row. And then like I found this room that basically had nothing in it. It was quite near it was next to the room with the I think it's the anchor chain motor, the forward anchor chain motor. I think that's what it was. But essentially, it had been gutted. There's nothing in this room anymore. They were going to use it for storage, I am assuming. I don't know. But it had a porthole, and there was an empty box in that room. And basically, I used to put the box next to the window. It had a tiny window, and just look at people on the bank of the Thames. Just watch people walking around and taking pictures of it and stuff. It's kind of funny. So if you see somebody's picture from about 10 years ago or so, and you look to the front of the boat, one of the portholes, the holes just below the main deck, just below the poop deck, basically, you might be able to see just a guy's face, maybe eating a sandwich. I wish I could say I was waving, but I don't think I waved. I did notice a couple of people basically taking pictures of the boat, or them standing by anyway. Yeah. So I was eating my lunch in there on the 3rd or 4th day, and then all of a sudden, like the doors open, because you can't shut any of the doors. They're watertight doors, so basically they all had to be open. But no, somebody walked past it, and then they walked back, and it was one of the crew members, the actual crew members of Belfast. And basically they were like, you can't eat your lunch in here, you know. And I was like, okay, but why? There's nothing in here. And they were like, you can't. I mean, what if we need to do something in this room? And I was like, you mean like open a window? I don't understand. There's nothing in this room. So you'll be in the way if you're in this room. You know, he just basically just said, get out. You know, it's just like, there's nothing in the room. I ate my lunch there twice. Nobody caught me. That's the only reason. Nobody caught me. So yeah, I got yelled at by a crew member. The boat's stationary. It's never going to move again. I don't know why it needs crew. They're basically just glorified tour guides. That's all they are. But yeah, I got told to get out, and I basically got told to get off the ship, because basically I had like an open food container. So it was like, yeah. But yeah, I had my lunch where everybody was basically on the other side of the river. just looked at, yeah. Oh my god, it was actually super nice because about a week before I left working there, I found out that my I had been working for the London Underground before that. That was my previous assignment. You know, I'd been working for the London Underground, and I got a free pass, so I could travel on the London Underground and the Transport for London. I could travel on the buses and stuff for free because of my free pass. So what I used to do is I basically used to get the water bus, which is basically just the ferry system that runs up and down the Thames. And they're really big ferries, and they're quite expensive now. Actually, it costs £15, but it costs £7 to go one way on the ferry trip, depending on what stop you stop at. But yeah, I basically used to get the ferry. It took a funny route round to the other side of the river. So my lunch hour used to basically be spent. I used to get off and then get the next ferry, jump on it really quickly, the next Thames ferry, and it used to go up the Thames all the way up to Big Ben, up to Westminster and the Big Ben, and then it used to come all the way back, and it used to, and this trip took about 20 minutes. So I jumped off the ferry at the Tower of London, which is on the other side of the river to the Belfast entrance, where you get onto the Belfast. It's just so weird. It's a very, very long way around when there's Tower Bridge right there. I could have just walked over Tower Bridge, but I just like being on the ferry, especially in my uniform and everything. And I'd eat my lunch either on the ferry or when I got to Tower Bridge, if there was nobody around. I'd just eat there. And then I basically, before my lunch hour was over, because we're volunteers, because it was like a volunteer kind of thing that I was doing, they didn't really care about when you got back, especially if you're not going to be doing much, as long as you get back before the next person takes their lunch hour, you know. So yeah, I basically would just finish my lunch at Tower Bridge, on at the Tower of London, and then jump back on the ferry, and it would go all the way back up to the Westminster Big Ben, and then come back. And I'd see the London Eye and everything. It was awesome. But I only did that like the last week that I was there. I was kind of kicking myself because it was kind of like, why don't I do this every day? This was awesome. I think it had something to do with the fact that I think it was something to do with the fact that I didn't remember if my free pass was A still working, and B, if it was basically allowed, if I was allowed to use it on the London ferry system. But yeah, it figures they had to snoop around and find you, Tubbs. How rude. It's no big deal. I just love the fact that I technically outrank him now. You know that that position gave me 3 years. I was working I worked for them for 3 years, and I got the equivalent of the rank of captain in the Naval Reserves. So basically, I outrank him technically. Now I should have gone back and basically just said, like, where's the naval salute? I'm not that petty. Sounds like a cool trip to have in your day. In what? Like I said, this was about 10 years ago. I have no idea if basically anybody could do this now. I used to like, I kind of semi-stalked one of the beef eaters for that week. By the way, there was a big Santa bear in a beef eater costume who used to be the guy who was at the gate of the Tower of London. and he used to always be on the, that used to be his. I'm guessing that was his shift, but he was nice. But yeah, I couldn't ever decide. I couldn't ever figure out if he basically had a tummy or not, because the Beefeater uniform is very, very unique in that it basically makes everybody appear to be round. That gives them kind of that barrel shape just by the nature of its padding, where it's padded and stuff. So it's like, The real reason came out, Santa Bear motivation. Hey, it just happened, okay? I happened to see him the second or third. I don't know, it might have even been the last couple of days even. I remember him. He wasn't there this time, by the way, when I went to London last, because we went around the Tower of London. We didn't go in it, we went around it. But yeah, he wasn't there. But then again, it's like been 10 years. He could be dead. That's sad. Probably not. It's very strange. Some people go like their beards go white. Some people go like grey early on in life, because he didn't look that old. I mean, you have to be old because you have to be an ex-serviceman to be a Beefeater, to be in the Beefeater costume. So yeah. So my routine just had like 5 people. So my roommate just had like 5 people in my room, in your room. Ouch. Why? It's fine. I changed the direction I walked in high school to see a dude I thought was cute every day. No, I've done the same thing. I used to go to the King's Arms exclusively because he's so nice. He's just so nice. He moved to Birmingham though, so I don't go to the King's Arms anymore. Lucky all my stuff is still here. Okay. I really wish Homecoming ended already. I'm sorry, dude. I'm just thinking about the visiting Daddy Bear. He was a bit older, round, and furry. He was a bit older, round, and furry. I don't know what that means. But yeah, he could be kind of a Santa Bear. He had a grey beard and a handlebar mustache. Very nice to be with. Okay. Apparently they were getting ready for some party or some shit like that. Well, yeah. I'm sorry, Panafox. I know you are glad that it's almost over. Great big hugs and mini snuggles. Yeah. No, I know what kind of bullshit you're dealing with. No. Just hope I'm not feeling this crappy when Itchy's here, because that would suck. So everybody wants to go on a cruise now that I've said about cruise. Because I noticed that basically everyone said, "Ooh, a cruise sounds fun," apart from Panda Frogs. Oh, anyway, how was the fireworks thing, Tubbs? It's tomorrow. It's happening tomorrow. I haven't done your picture. It's right here. I haven't done your picture yet. I've been dealing with some random bullshit with my eye today. So basically, it's just I don't want to start it and then have my eye act up, and then because everything's kind of it's gotten better now, but just randomly, if I look at the screen for too long or a piece of paper, it will get just randomly like everything kind of doubles. But no, it's tomorrow. There's a fun fair attached to it, but I don't do any of the fun fair stuff. But it's mainly for the fireworks and the fireworks display. But no, apparently they've got a laser show this time if the weather holds up, because the weather, yeah. I'm sure when he gets there, it will cheer you up quite a bit, dude. Well, yeah. Yep. I kind of almost want to record him arriving. You know, basically set up my camera somewhere in the airport, just put it somewhere, and then record the Senpai. But yeah, I got a bad feeling that if I tried to do that, my camera / phone would be stolen. Like somebody would just grab it and run away. Well, like I said, I'm gonna aim to have it so that it basically is it's a vacation for both of us. To be honest, I'm actually looking forward to all the food and stuff, because we're going to try to do the gaming thing. I'm looking forward to having a feeder for a few days in a row. Every time I've done that, even though I've not been gaining in the past, every time I've done that, it's always been a case of like, that's been some of the best funsies times that I've had. You know, it's been basically with a good feeding. Especially the ones that are all impressed. Especially the ones that are all impressed when I eat something. You know, I can't help it. I get a bit proud of the whole. You know, so you just ate a really big lunch, and then you ate all of those donuts, and then you ate all of the ice cream that I funnel fed you. It's really impressive, and I'm just like, I know. Also, can I please have belly rubs? I remember they coming back from a buffet one time. Oh, so fun. The guy just stood above me and basically just pushed donuts into my mouth, and after every donut, every time I gulped from a donut, he just was like, wow. I was like, ugh, made my day. That's way too much information. I didn't mention that we were naked, but that's okay. I'm just trying to remember exactly what we're going to do when he's here. We're definitely going to go to the Northampton buffet at least once. We're definitely going to go to random pressure change and a random headache around my ear. We're definitely going to go to Peterborough at least once. We're definitely going to potentially go to London at least once. We're going to go to... I think that's the definite stuff. I don't know what the extra stuff will be. There's basically everything else is up to him. But then again, when we go to London and Peterborough is up to him as well. So yeah. Are you alright, Tubbs? I'm fine. It just random pressure change in the atmosphere. Just you get a headache around your ear. If you ever get a headache, by the way, around this, you know, what is it called? It's like your it's like your eye sockets are actually called something else, you know, on your skull, but it's like that part of your head where your ear is. Basically, if you ever get a headache, a very sudden headache around your ear, then it usually is because the pressure, you know, either a wave of high pressure or a wave of low pressure has basically suddenly hit the immediate area. So basically the temperature changes, or it's about to rain or something. That basically is what that is. It's like the joint pain thing, but yeah, just a bit sensitive to that stuff. Yeah. I was just about to say, it's kind of like a superpower, but it's not really, because everybody's got it. But if you're sensitive to it, then it's still not a superpower, because it just means that the weather's changed in your immediate area. And it's like, well, anybody can see that, because, you know, we all have windows and stuff. I don't really know what to talk about. Oh, I know what I can look up. Basically, weekly topic poll. How's that doing? Because next week is a whole new week, although I don't know what it is exactly, because it will be with... No, it hasn't changed since I last looked at it. Never mind. After today, I've definitely got to get my finger out of my ass and do cleaning, so that's going to be fun. Yeah, that's going to be nice. Have a relax in the hot tub and then go see fireworks. I hope this computer is going to be okay for Itchy, because Itchy's going to be on this computer mainly, so that'll be nice for him, hopefully. Basically, like, he'll have this computer to work on if he wants to be in my office, and I'll be on this computer. I don't know what I'll be doing. Maybe some editing and stuff. I don't know, because we probably will make some videos, including one video that he wants to make, but that I wanted to surprise him with, but I didn't know if it was a thing he'd be interested in. But apparently, it's something he's very interested in. So. I've got to do some pre-planning for that and everything. So, for that particular video, I just imagine him basically discussing the shoot list with him, and just occasionally having to tell him to get his hands out of his pants. It's actually kind of cool. Today we went to the supermarket at night, and there were fireworks going off. And because it's so flat here, you could see them for miles. It's awesome. Okay, Dreamy. Wait 1 sec. Really, Rod? Belly shake. You guys have helped. You always help. You always help. I'm probably going to be going soon anyway. Oh, Panafox, if you're still around, I know you tagged me in basically a picture on Discord, and yeah, I've seen that picture before, and I do appreciate the tag, but yeah, it's just I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. I know I keep mentioning. I'll shut up about it, but just the whole weed thing, whole druggy stuff, it kind of is just an instant turn off for me for some reason. So, although I appreciate the entire scene, if I could remove that, I would. Hell, somebody might ask me to do that in the future. Basically, just do that picture, but basically, yeah, better, in my opinion. Yeah, so I didn't know about the. It's okay. Yeah, honestly, it's okay. It's like it's almost ideal. That's the annoying part about that picture. It's like it's almost there. The song That's What Friends Are For is playing in my head now, Tubbs. Have you ever heard it yet? Oh, there was a song. There was a song that randomly popped into my head, and it's from James and the Giant Peach. And it randomly popped into my head today, and I was just like, oh, I've got to tell people about this. But now I've got Birds of a Feather stuck in my head. Now that you've said about that song, it reminded me of another song, which is called Birds of a Feather. Or was it on the show that was called Birds of a Feather? There's a British sitcom that was called Birds of a Feather. And basically, it's my mum used to love watching it, and that's probably why it got stuck in my head. Well, that describes me as my. Well, that song describes my as well as all of our friendships with you and each other. Are. That's very sweet, dude. I don't know. I don't really have an album, an anthem. I really like I really, 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 really like the trailer that does anybody remember the trailer I put together? I put it on like Twitter and everything. Just the couple of quick clips that I got inspired from the music from Thor Ragnarok, which I still love. I love that movie. Did I get a few more votes just now on the weekly topic poll? I don't know. Okay, guys, what are we going to talk about for the last few minutes of the streaming? Oh my god.
Now you're feeling better.
Oh, thanks, dude.
I was just out trying to catch a bus and I saw that notification pop up.
Well, I was feeling really crappy, and it's like just talking. This helped a bit. I'm not so fixated on the bullshit. I think it's because basically my computer's here all the time. So basically, it's like whenever I turn on the computer, no matter what I'm doing recently, it just seems to be a bullshit.
Yeah, that's annoying. That's really annoying. But yeah, just keep in mind it's just bullshit. It's not anything that you necessarily have to worry about. And with the one guy who said he doesn't have a case. Like that sounds like the same shit that Jim Sterling was doing. So it's really is anything. Like essentially, if he was the legal advisor, it probably say he doesn't really have a case. Like,
No, I kind of figured they basically didn't have a case and that it's just an intimidation tactic or something. But it's just that, who would get that wound up about this stuff? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. It's just that he's failed as an adult. He's failed to be an adult just then, and just randomly was like, I'm gonna be stupid.
How do you? My dad works at Nintendo.
Well, no, it's just that that guy in particular is just that I was talking to him like a person.
Yeah.
And like because when he said to me, "Have you told anybody else about this?" I basically, I just that's all the message that I got. It was just one sentence, and it was that question. And then I basically just said to him, like, yeah, I did. I told a couple of people that there are a few people that has been plagiarized by you, and I told the higher ups. But I mean, it's not really a big deal. I actually said it's not really a big deal. It's just just like either alter this piece of work or just don't do it again. It's fine. And then then I didn't hear from him for a couple of days, and then I get that random stuff. So. But yeah, but if you when you get something like this, you kind of like, and something very official looking and everything, it kind of does, just for a brief second, it does kind of make you go, oh shit, I'm being sued, I mean, of course, immediately afterwards, I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
But for that brief second, it's just that I don't need a random adrenaline spike when I'm sitting on my desk just checking mail. Jesus.
Like you just sit down and read the part, like the and oh shit, oh my heart, oh my chest, oh it's gonna burst.
Well, no, it's like when you randomly get like an electric bill or phone bill or something, and you're like, you read the number of the money that you owe, and you're like, holy fuck, it's like I can't, you kind of get a little bit scared just for that little second before you realize that, oh no, wait, that's my phone number. Okay. And then you look at the actual number and you're like, holy fuck. Yeah. So that happened to me like the first time. So the first time I basically got my my Apple bill the first time I had an iPhone and I had access to apps and stuff, and basically like I downloaded a bunch of apps, and and it was a big deal because basically like some of these apps were, I made sure that all of them were free. Most of them were free, and the ones that I did have to pay for were very cheap. But it's just that you don't really notice it at the time, but they all add up. So when I got my statement from Apple, your Apple statement in your email, I was like, holy, that's a lot of money. What did I spend that? And then you realize that it's like, oh, okay, it's no big deal. It's a bunch of subscriptions that that actually cancel each other out on certain apps and stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
One of the things that that Apple used to do was this app called Newsstand, where you could basically get your subscriptions on the newsstand. You can read magazines on your phone and stuff.
Yeah.
So I basically added all of my subscriptions onto there that I already had from existing, like from the computer, or basically just I straight up told the company through their website that I don't need to get my subscriptions through the mail anymore because I've got this app and I can just read them on my phone now. So, you know. But yeah, so all of my subscriptions came at once through Apple, and I'd already been paying for them. So I was all scared because it's basically like, oh no, it doesn't. Apple is just telling me that I owe these companies money. I already knew I owed these companies money. It's already been paid. It's fine. But holy crap, when I first saw my statement, I was like, shit. I guess it's going to be a crappy Christmas this year. But no, it's like, oh no, I'm already paying that money. Okay, it's fine. But no, it's like that. It's that feeling that you get whenever you get like an official document that tells you that you're going to be sued or something, that like a big bill or something. You know, you kind of just for a brief second you do kind of semi panic, but it's only lasts for like not even a whole second, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, it's just that I didn't need to go through that at that moment, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what caused a bit of anxiety. It was the added anxiety of should I get people to look at this and all that stuff, you know. It was kind of
Yeah. Definitely understandable.
It's just extra to random bullshit day.
Random bullshit day.
Well, no, before I moved in with Damon, and actually a couple of years afterwards, I basically used to have like days of, you know, once a year there would be a day where a bunch of bullshit just piles up, and it basically it's just I used to call it the used to have an acronym, but it was like the worst days, the worst day of the year or something like that. Because I go into work and all of a sudden like bad stuff would start happening, and then basically I'd just be like, somebody will say, "It's like, are you okay?" You know, because I know so you got a lot of work to do today, and I'll be like, "Yeah, it's the worst day of the year. That's all it is. It's fine." But yeah, it hasn't actually happened for a few years now. You know, it used to be something like I used to just say to myself, "Okay, it's the worst day of the year. So once today's over, then I'll be happy. You know, I'll be happy once that day's over and all this bullshit's gone." Although I'm dealing with it, you know, by the end of the day, I'm dealing with the bullshit. So basically, it's kind of a coping mechanism, so that any day that after this where bullshit piles up, it's like, oh well, it wasn't as bad as that day, you know. However, like I said, I haven't had one of these days for 6 years or so, where I basically can say that it's the worst day of the year. But today just felt like yep, it's that. It was like twaddle or something like that. It's a twaddle day.
I'll have, I mean, you know, I'll actually have like certain times of the year where I'll actually just get into a major really bad place where I can't really like take care of myself as well as other times. So it's just like I know how bad it is, I guess. Yeah. Twaddle.
I'm just trying to remember what the L stood for. Anyway, just being able to just talk about what's been happening helps. So I hope you are feeling better. I am. I mean, the biological stuff is still really, really annoying, but the random cold thing. Yeah. It's just not been very prevalent. It's just like I said, it's the cold thing has just been annoying. Damon's just gotten over his, but it's like an incredibly mild cold. But the fact that it's sticking around for so long, it's just irritating as crap. Because I'll be in there, I'll just randomly like end a stream or something, and then my nose will suddenly be like, okay, he's not talking anymore. I better get bunged up again. I'm like, no. But
my eyes was bothering me like really bad, and like itchy and burning. Like, whoa.
Well, I nearly had the eye patch on today. That's how bad my eyes been today. Yeah, it's just.
Because we have the ball.
Mm. I also want to know what the fuck is with that random spot as well. I know I shouldn't really be talking about this, but why? I peed before I went to bed last night, and I was like, that's weird. There's a tiny bump there. Oh well, and then I didn't. Just what the fuck? I mean, it doesn't hurt. It only hurts when I poke it. But it's what the why? Literally anywhere else on my body, it would be fine. I would not care. But seriously.
I'm just trying to think of a different way for me to do that anytime hand.
There isn't a way to do that, I don't think. That's another thing. Why on the weekend when Damon's here and everything? Why? It's like it knew that it was going to be used. I'd rather have it actually on my eye. I would rather have that than on there. Ugh. The happy music actually isn't helping the situation. I was just thinking to myself, well, at least I've got the happy music to distract me from it. But it's like, wait, no, because the happy music. Oh no.
Yeah, I've made a bit of a playlist to help keep me just, trying to keep my spirits up. So, yeah.
I know what bit of music. No.
Oh, God.
It's like, Howard, what does misery love? I love that it's basically already open. It's open on another tab, so I didn't have to search for anything. It's just right there.
I'd rather listen to the Jockey Jockey thing than that one. Like, that one just, I don't know, it's kind of over the top for me.
That's over the top.
Not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed.
That's actually the wrong. I should. Damn it! I was gonna say. Okay, well that could be easily sorted, but yeah. It was the very first. It was the Markiplier one. Mm-hmm. There you go. Happy now. Not really. Play it and you die. Different kind of insane. You don't know how true that is. That's weird. It's actually a really nice song. The one with the lyrics.
Yeah.
I mean, have you heard it?
I've heard bits of it. I haven't listened to it. Yeah.
It's actually kind of creepy, really, if you know the actual story and stuff. Bing, 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 bing.
Can you hear me? Hi, it's me. So you know how I've been like practicing piano and stuff, and I'm not really any good at it.
That's not the original.
She sounds like the other girl.
I kind of want to know. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, there it is. Bink. No, it's not good.
Every day, I imagine a future where I can be with you. In my hand is a pen that'll write a poem of me and you. in his heart. But in this world of infinite choices, what will it take just to find that special day? What will it take just to find that special day? Everybody upon their assignment to Tuesday.
Yeah, it's actually a very sad, weird song as well, which is kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice, but it's just that, like, I have it on in the background. I'm not actually going to sit and listen to it. I was trying, but yeah. I love the story. I just love the story and how creepy Literature Club is. That game, even. I don't know why, though, because it's actually really terrifying if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, like, and I actually watched, because I think, what's his name? Oh god. The Game Theorist guy actually did a video on that too. And
I'm sure he did.
I was actually kind of fascinated with, like, how much thought work actually went into, like, background, the coding for the game, just everything. Kind of cool.
Well, I like as much as I like I like MadPat and the channels he's got and stuff. But it's just that he does kind of overthink things a lot. And although I get it, and I am amused, you know, they're amusing videos. They're interesting videos and stuff. It's just that, you know, they never pan out.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, no, it's just that there's always, like, you know, the next installment of whatever he did a theory on usually disproves his previous theory, and it's like, So I mean, it would be cool, but usually it's yeah. The Mario story thing, though, I did like, because he does, in that video, he actually goes into the actual lore, you know, the adult story, like I said, because that's an entirely, it's not fan fiction, it's kind of like, it's kind of a sub lore of the entire thing, and it's great. I love that. Especially I still love the Luigi thing. It's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, because he went into how it relates to other games and stuff, didn't he? He wasn't actually talking about just the Literature Club. He was talking about how it related to other games, I think. His video on it. And although that is fascinating and I like it, I do like it, I wish that it would be, I wish there was a second Doki Doki, which basically backs up everything he said in it, you know?
Yeah. Because, like, from what he was saying, basically, I guess the characters didn't belong in the Doki Doki game universe or something. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I'm just like, oh yeah. I hope to see, like, something along the lines of what he was saying.
It's you know, it's just a game, but just the implications of this game is actually it's incredibly spooky and scary at the same time. It's the creators basically, I saw part of an AMA that they did on Reddit, and basically they said that it's just it's a simulation. You know, it's like it's their take on the simulation paradox. You know, that we're all potentially in a simulation and stuff like that, and how they wanted to show that that reality could literally just be a big simulation, but they wanted to do it in a very, very JRPG kind of dating simulation game that it's very, very similar to a bunch of other stuff. But what if they were aware of it and stuff?
Yeah. is kind of interesting. But
Well, it's fascinating, but it's kind of just at the same time, it's incredibly creepy and it's a little bit mean spirited because like there's something you can do where you try to if you try to play the game again after it's done its thing. I'm assuming you know all the story, right?
yeah,
Of the actual game itself. So yeah, anybody that wants to play, anybody who still hasn't played Doki Doki, like spoilers and all that stuff, skip to about 10 minutes after this bit in the video. You can actually boot up the game again, and only have like certain characters. After playing through the entire thing, you could try booting up the game again, and it will show one of the characters, and they will be in horror at the fact that they're in so much pain and they can't deal with the fact that this is reality and the game will crash. And it's like, that's creepy and psychologically scary.
yeah,
Because it's a whole character who's gone through all of this stuff and remembers all of this stuff and is in like physical pain because of it, and they know they're a simulation, and it's like, oh, it's oof.
Do you know about Undertale at all?
It's like a Black Mirror episode all over again.
Do you know about Undertale at all?
I've intentionally stayed away from Undertale.
Just because of how it gets.
Well, it's just I literally don't like the art style.
Well, aside from the art style, it's kind of the same thing that Undertale did. Because I'm assuming you're not gonna, and spoilers, but yeah, I'm assuming you're not gonna.
I'm never watching it. You know.
So it's kind of the same thing what they did, because what they did is they had like an all good run and then a homicidal run where like the first time you play it through, it's basically a game where it takes the RPG element and it kind of flips it on its head, where like you go through but you don't actually have to fight or kill anything.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to. Yeah, so it's so your first run through, like you should do like the good path so that you can see like where everybody ends up and it's all good. And then on your homicidal path, you can go through and just basically kill everything you see. And basically, what it'll do is like it'll just throw a whole bunch of shit at you when the characters know that you're just this evil monster, and it'll seriously like the game will fuck with you, like the big bad flower guy, like
it's a big bad. It's a
like
tiny flower.
He'll try to reason with you. He'll try to reason with you, but you just kill him basically. And then at the end of the game, and then there's just like this evil spirit that just comes and just kills you. Like whenever you try to boot up the game again, like it'll be like you can't play basically, because the evil spirit will come back and it'll just basically say, okay, yeah, you're too evil, you can't play this game anymore. You have no soul. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's messed up when games do that. They imply self-awareness. Just I don't like it when that happens. Unless it's in a funny way. Unless it's in a funny way.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole self-aware thing. It can be taken as funny ways. Like it's kind of like the whole Deadpool thing and how he knows it's in the comic, and Actually, the way that they did the game with him was actually pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, I love. I actually watch these adverts. You know, YouTube has these adverts. They keep popping up these adverts for like random stuff sometimes. And they've got like Marvel Strike Force is an app that they're trying to push. So basically, they keep showing you adverts for it. But he's in one of those adverts, and it's just so funny. I actually really like it.
I've seen that one.
Well, I'm gonna try to find it. Put it on Discord, maybe.
Okay.
Well, it shouldn't be that hard to look up. I mean, it's an advert, so they should be trying to give it to you. "51 seconds.
Tony, blast reflection! My God, that's impressive. Hey, helmet guy! Grenade refraction! Sorry, it just happened. Iron Man, they did their thing. I got kind of jealous and, you are not going to be okay. Oh.
Deadpool 2, super duper cut available now on digital and Blu-ray. Marvel Strike Force, play for free.
I like there's a slightly longer version of that, and it basically said, "Oh, you're going to need a medic," and he's like, "I am a medic." It's like, you're not going to be okay. Where is it? I'm trying to find the bigger so I can post it on Discord. Grenade reflection. But no, so yeah, these adverts come up whenever there's a bunch of adverts, different adverts that come up whenever you're watching YouTube, and I usually just skip them or let them just play. But that one in particular, I always let play because it's fun.
Yeah. I've seen a few of those. Yeah. The good stuff.
There's an ad for an ad.
We put you in the middle to discover your smile.
Is this 2 ads, really?
I gotta go.
Yeah, that's not it. Oh, where's the longer version? I pushed the button. It's not doing anything. I can't find it. I'm just going to put that one on. Oh, somebody did something really funny / mean. It was kind of mean. But well, I got a message the other day from one of my friends who basically he's kind of he's a bit of a horn dog. He can't shut up about sex. He's got a little bit of a problem. But no, he basically just said, "Dude, you got to check out this Chatterbait link." And I was like, "Why?" He was like, "No, just check it out. It's funny." And I was like, "Why is it funny? Why is it on Chatterbait if it's funny?" So this guy, I went to the link, and it's basically a guy who's like kind of like slumped. He's kind of like passed out, slumped in a chair, and he's snoring really loudly, but he's naked. And it was like, what am I looking at? And I'm just looking at the chat on the Chatterbait link, and basically he's also in the chat room. That guy that I was talking about. And apparently what had happened is that he basically he was jacking off, and he basically put some popper juice on a tissue and had it on his chest while he was jacking off, and he passed out. I only mention this because basically my Firefox, when I loaded up my Firefox, it loaded up Tumblr because I was it's just the social. I use Firefox for the social tabs, and the first thing is on Tumblr, and basically just somebody had posted the video of him passing out. Poor guy. So yeah, funny but mean. Oh my god, I just noticed that also in the live chat extra there's all of the links to funny shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll cheer me up.
Those hoots biting me down now on such short.
Looks over the table as well.
It's not a dress, it's a kilt. Sicko.
He's wearing it. I'm getting so many points on this game. Well, no, I've got my my phone is open. Like I was trying to explain before, I've got I downloaded a game. It's kind of just a battle simulator to basically you choose different strategies and stuff like that. But they've got an option that you can purchase better mods and and stuff. You know, you basically, it's got a store in it that you can purchase better units and things, and you basically get extra points and stuff to purchase things by either paying for it, which I don't do because that's stupid. That's, you know, the paywall strategy, or you can basically watch some ads, or you can play the game and you get, you know, a certain amount of points for every game that you play and stuff. So what I've done is I've left the app open, and you know, every 5 minutes you can watch an ad and you get 100 points that you can then use in the store. So basically I've left it open on the defeat screen, and basically there's a little countdown, if you can see. there's a little countdown basically of it telling you can watch an ad for so many coins and stuff. So every time it goes to 0, I just hit the button, and basically I'm mining points. So I'm going to basically unlock the entire game by the end of tonight because I've just been hitting the button every 5 minutes. How many am I up to? I can't unless I exit that screen. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been kind of doing the same thing myself on the phone game.
I just wanted to know if anybody else did that, but yeah, if you did the same thing, then well, that's at least one person. It's not cheating.
It's an actual strategy.
It is.
It is. Even though some people might find that a very easy way of going about things. But yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. It's exactly. It's like like I used to do this. I used to do this ever since mobile apps became a thing. Well, actually, no. I used to do this on a Game Boy. On the Game Boy, there was a game that you can basically get on the App Store now, where basically you would manage. It's like SimCity, you know, SimCity Tower, where basically you just ferry people up elevators. You could do it manually, or you could make it automatic. But if you did it manually, then you gathered points. So what I would do is I would basically be sat on my computer, and I'd be doing like a college paper, or I'd be doing like I'd be doing working or something, and I just like every time somebody entered the elevator on my Game Boy, which was plugged into the wall, I would just every now and again just be like, oh, okay, somebody's in the lift. I'll just push it up, and there at the stop. Okay, and then it would give me a reward every now and again. But I just let the game run in the background while I'd be working.
Yeah.
But ever since that happened, I've always loved games that have this kind of feature, you know, that kind of feature, because it basically lets you play offline almost. It's why I used to like playing Pokemon Go, was because I could just leave the Pokemon Go on and just do work while it used just the Wi-Fi, and he wandered around in a circle because the GPS was shit here.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was funny actually, because the GPS is shit here. He would just walk up the screen, you know, to the road, and then the GPS would get a little bit better, and he'd walk back he'd run back over to the office. But if the GPS is crap, it just every 5 or 10 minutes, he would basically just slowly wander to the road, then run back. And slowly wander back to the road. Unfortunately, they actually fixed that about I think it was a couple of weeks before I stopped playing it. Because they actually fixed it. They made it so that if your GPS is broken or fucked in some way, then it will just make your character not move. And I was like, oh. And that was really crap here on account of, because the GPS signal is so bad in this area, it meant that even if I'm walking, then every time the GPS updated, he would run to the next time, you know, where you were. And because he was running, no steps. Mm.
Yeah, I'll be on the bus with mine. Started?
Oh my god, the buses in London were always great for Pokemon Go, because you know, London is it's like New York. There's basically there's not many people that own vehicles in New York and London. everybody uses the public transportation or the taxis, or the cabs, you know. So essentially the buses would move kind of just on the borderline of being fast, you know, too fast to actually count the steps. So you would actually just, all you got to do, and because the buses are super cheap in London, all you got to do if you want to win at Pokemon Go and you know, get tons of bonuses and, you know, hatcheries and all that stuff, all you got to do is basically jump on a bus and let it wander around for an hour or two, because the buses just go in a big circle. The buses always just go in a big circle, so basically you will end up basically where you work.
Yeah, I usually take the bus and then just try and spend Pokestops around the day. But sometimes it won't like register them just because of the thing needs to update and whatever.
Yeah. Again, that's another thing about London, is that there are so many Pokestops, so it's just, yeah, it's so good. I imagine New York is exactly the same. I mean, they have, well, they do have buses, but they don't have them as frequently as, from what I remember somebody telling me. I don't think it was my cousin. I know the buses in America, apparently they just suck, don't they?
Yeah, kinda.
Well, that's why I've heard from friends who live in New York, and they basically say that the buses just like they're good, but they're infrequent. And I've got a friend who lives in Chicago. He says that basically that nobody uses the buses, but they do exist. And I've got a friend who lives in California, in LA, and they said that basically that they are just bullshit.
Yeah, buses over here are kind of. It's like they'll either come every hour, every half hour, or they'll come like an hour and a half later. I don't know. I mean, if you call the actual number for the bus, it's pretty good on telling you when buses will arrive, but it's usually like half an hour, an hour from the time you're at the bus stop. So it's like, oh my gosh, why?
But that's what I mean. It's just it's such a weird alien concept to anybody that, you know, anybody in the UK, on account of the bus is like it's the go-to public transportation for anywhere in the UK. You know, wherever you are, no matter how far out you are. Like even here, we've got a bus that comes exactly on time, but it's just that it only happens there's like 4 buses a day to my village. It's crazy. But that's what I mean. It's crazy. That's why it's so crazy, because, you know, when I lived in London, there's a bus every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes. Even if I was way out in the edges of London, there's a bus every 10 minutes. And if there isn't that particular bus, then basically there's another bus. So basically it's, you know, a bus. If you picked a random bus stop in the UK, guaranteed there's going to be a bus there every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
In the city, that is.
Damn it. I wish we had that here. But because I actually have times when I'm trying to meet up with somebody and they'll be all like, yeah, I'm still waiting for the bus. I'm just like, why? It's been like fucking 20 minutes. It's been 30 minutes.
Well, that's what I mean, though. That's what I mean. Our buses, even the bus shelters and the bus stops themselves, they're so high tech that basically, like, they'll, you know, nearly all of them, nearly every single bus stop in the UK has like a sign of like what buses are going to be here, and then underneath it, it's got like an electronic scrolling sign, and that will tell you when the next bus is going to be here and how far away the buses are and everything. It's weird how tagged the buses are in the UK. It's like, that's what I mean though. It's so crazy to hear about other places that are just like, you mean you don't have buses? Because I would say to you, but that basically you don't really have a bus then. It's just a really big vehicle that comes every now and again.
Yeah, it comes every now and again.
It just comes every now and again.
It's almost never on schedule, but when it is, you know, it's good on that.
And that's
Sometimes,
actually almost exactly what what my friend in LA said. He basically says that, you know, it's not uncommon for buses to just not show up.
yeah. Actually, because we'll have this weird thing where, like, buses will come, but it's like, oh, wait, that bus is not in service, so it's not going to stop here. It's just going to keep going. Damn it. And, like, yeah. So,
Well, so yeah, that's just crazy.
but, like, but yeah, like, I'll be having to go down to where my security company's office is located, like from my check, and I'll have to take like 2 buses once you get to downtown, and then I'll have to make a transfer over there to actually get to the office. And they'll either I can bet on one of 2 things. Either it'll be like it'll be arriving like right when I get to the next stop, or I'll be waiting there for like half an hour to an hour for the next bus to come, and I'll just be like, okay, great.
Oh, I mean, it's just random crazy. It's just weird. Okay. Oh my god, I just recognized the bus. So random search results for UK bus stop. So here we've got like this is just a regular one, just a regular plain boring one. But yeah, most of the bus stops are like this. They've all got at least some kind of shelter or bench. That is the minimum. They've got to have at least a bench. But you see this sign here? There's a sign here, and they'll have all of the writing on the sign. But this black part is actually it's got like a little timetable of like what buses are, and that's the LED screen. It's an LED screen that basically has all the information of when the next bus is going to come. And there's even there's like a timetable and everything on, and that's on every single bus.
Are you wanting me to move over there?
Yeah, I mean, you can if you want to. This is actually a bus I've got on before, which is why I found it was so funny. So this is in a London bus. This is a London bus stop sign, and they don't actually have the LED screen on the London buses, but in fact, what they have is actually in the bus stop shelter itself. There's like you know, when you go to a train station, or like I can only think of like the London Underground. Like when you go to a tube station and you're at a platform, you know, you've got a big sign that basically tells you all of the trains that are there or are coming or departing or whatever. That's what they have in London. Basically, every single bus stop has a shelter with a sign, which sometimes even has a TV. That basically is just giving you all the information that you need to go onto a bus, because they're just so everywhere all the time.
Yeah, see, we have bus tables, but they're useless because they are never accurate.
Most of the buses there are double-decker buses, right? So actually, no. I think it's about 50-50. I think like anytime you're in a city, there are double-decker buses, but every time you know, there's most of the buses that are outside of cities, you know, like just town buses and stuff like that, they're mostly single-decker. But I do find that, and this is weird, I don't know why they do this. It might just be a fuel efficiency thing, I don't know. But the smaller buses, the single-decker buses, they're usually longer and they go everywhere. But they go, you know, into the little streets and everything. There was like when I lived in London, when I lived with my parents, basically I had two options. I could go past the creepy house with the dead people that were in it, like I was talking about before, to the bigger street and get like a more frequent double-decker bus that would go to you know, basically they're more direct lines. They go to, I could get like a lot of different kind of buses there, or I could walk around the corner of where my parents lived, and basically catch a bus that only comes every half an hour, which was a single-decker bus, but it went everywhere. That bus went to my college, it went to my swimming pool, it went to my high school, it went into town where I worked for the Naval Cadets. It went to my work, it went to the supermarket, it went, like I said, it's one bus, but its route was all over the place, and it went into the suburbs. So basically it went into the estates, which is why I could just go around the corner from my parents' house and get it. So it's like everywhere. So yeah, this is what I mean. This is why buses, they're just so frequent. But then again, like I said, where I used to live in London was it was on the outskirts of London. It wasn't really considered London, you know.
Yeah.
It was inside the M25 though, which is a ring road that goes all the way. It's the biggest one in the world apparently. That goes all the way around London. And if anything exists inside the M25, it's considered to be London for some reason, even though it's not. So Romford is where my parents lived, and basically I used to live in Romford, and that's, yeah. But so yeah, that's why it's so weird for anybody that says that their buses suck and stuff, or that they consider that a half an hour bus service to be good, is kind of weird to me. Because it's like, but that's really bad.
Actually, that's kind of funny you say that, because like I'll be at work and like we actually have bus stop like right on the side of where I work, and I have like tourists coming up and asking me when the bus is coming and whatever, and I'm just like, I don't know. It'll probably be like either half an hour or an hour or something like that. Like I've actually like called the service to see when the next bus is coming, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be another hour." So I'm just like, yeah, you're gonna have to wait here.
See, if that
So
bus, if that was a UK bus stop, then basically what it would do is if the bus is delayed or something, it actually say when it's delayed and when it's expected. It's weird. Like I said, they LoJack all of the buses here in the UK for some reason.
Yeah, like your bus system is probably like they probably have time to build it up, so it's probably like more advanced. So it makes sense.
Yeah, that's my dad worked. My dad was a bus driver, and also I worked for the London Underground, and basically they explained to me how it works, and apparently the buses, it's something to do with an actual sensor in the actual bus stop itself. The actual post contains some kind of electronics. This is what I mean. They're weirdly high tech, which basically just every time a bus goes past, it's got its own little radio frequency, and it basically and the the bus actually picks it up when it goes past, and it knows when the next bus of that particular number, you know, it knows how frequent the buses are supposed to be and what time it is. So they literally are just counters and timers. So if it's like, if a bus is delayed, it will usually just it'll pick that up from the latest bus, because they have to log it in, and it's actually, you know, the actual drivers don't have to do shit. It basically all does it automatically. Somehow it knows that that bus is going to be late. I never understood how that worked. Because they're incredibly short-range transmitters, though. So I don't, like I said, I don't understand how it knows that a bus that's still really far away is going to be 12 minutes late or something. You know,
it probably works on a sequence of transmitters, more than likely, just like, you know, from one transmitter to the next, it'll say.
Oh, now they're probably all Wi-Fi'd and stuff. Yeah, I know. They're all probably like connected. And, yeah, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. In the past, when I had to get the bus all the time, it was crazy how this system worked. It was basically incredibly intricate to the point where it shouldn't be that intricate, but it was stupid, crazy, connected. I don't know. London has it going on. That's so cool. Jeffrey, it's, you know, I do, as much as I like London, I can't stand all of everything being super expensive there. That's the only downside of London. London is awesome, and I'd love to live there again. But the thing is that I can't, because it's expensive.
Just like any other major city.
Yeah. Yeah, London. I would consider London to be the capital of England, though. But when I went to Ireland, Dublin is incredibly laid back, and it's so cheap. Like, holy shit. Like, oh. We'll put it this way: you can get an £8 pint. That's a pint of beer for £8. That's crazy expensive in the UK. You know, you go to the supermarket and you can get them for £1. You go to the pubs locally here, they're about £2. But £8 in London, that's how much beer is. You go to fucking Dublin, they basically can give it to you sometimes. And it's not just because Ireland, you know, drinking. It's not because that's where the beer lives. It's basically because it's just, I don't know what it is. In fact, Dublin is just incredibly cheap to live in. You know, the cost of living there is crazy inexpensive. But then again, most of Ireland, you could basically, if you lived in Ireland, you don't have to spend much on anything. Well, I do know a relative of mine who basically doesn't pay for their electricity, because apparently the Irish government has, you know, it's almost completely sustainable. They're running on completely sustainable electricity, so they're basically like, fuck it, free energy. Yeah, we've got wind turbines, and we've got, you know, offshore wind turbines, and we've got you know, solar powered stuff, and what's the underwater? They've got the underwater turbines as well now. So it's like, holy shit, it's like super cheap to live in Ireland. I'd love to move back there, but there's you know, it's weirdly isolated. It's a small country, and there's a lot of people that live in it, but it's got so much space still that everyone's just very spread out. Even in the cities, it just seems more incredibly laid back.
sounds great.
No, it is great, but I think that's the problem. I think the problem is that it's like it's great, but there's not many working opportunities, and there's not many people to basically you know, you couldn't just open up a shop somewhere, because it's just the general way that Irish people are. It's like if you open up a shop somewhere, then you better have friends. You better have a fucking ton of friends that will go to that shop, because everybody's so fucking loyal to the franchises that are already established. So you can open a shop there, you can probably start a business there properly. It's crazy how it works. You know? So
yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's basically the whole reason why the rest of the population of Earth doesn't live in Ireland is basically because there's no work. That's why, famously, Ireland is the place where a bunch of immigrants come from.
It's a cool small town nation, I guess.
Yeah, that's actually funny. Somebody was saying to me that they were they were doing a sociology degree. They were trying to get a sociology degree. They were looking at human migration patterns and stuff like that. And they basically said to me that almost every single developed nation on the planet has had a period in its time, you know, it has had a period of Irish immigration. Like England had it, Scotland had it, apparently China had it, South America had it, and of course America had it, and Canada had it, and it's weird. No wonder I'm living in fucking England. Like if I trace my family back, the my chunk of the Sullivan family, the O'Sullivan family, basically we moved into Europe around Scandinavia, and then basically we just like left a trail of Irish people behind and went all the way around to Italy, and then World War II happened, and then basically everybody, the family seemed to migrate back to Ireland, and then we kind of spread out again from there. It's weird. Yeah. Spider.
It's just like,
I thought I could see something at the corner of my eye. It was this spider just here. Move away from the wall. Well, I don't want it to crawl back up the wall and then get on the shelf and then land on my shoulder, so it's stupid. Oh, we read that. Wow! Now I've heard it's all damn free electricity. We're all doing it wrong here in the US. I think it might have something to do with the fact that this particular relative actually works for the electric company. But from what I understand it, the electricity bill in Ireland is practically you practically don't have to pay for it. I was actually watching something that I've actually lost that spider, Jeffrey. I don't know if it was a big one. It's not that big. It's about that big. Yeah, there it is. It's about that big. I think it just wanted to get closer to the heater. Maybe it's cold. Yeah. I was watching something from. I occasionally watch Jacksepticeye for some of his funny playthroughs and stuff like that. I'm watching his Spider-Man one, and he basically did say that once he moved to the UK from Ireland, because he lives in Brighton now, I think. But he did say that he's just surprised by how much his bills cost. You know, just his electric and his gas and his water bills and all that stuff, because basically, yeah, in Ireland he basically hardly had to pay for anything. But now he's got money and he's an adult. It's kind of like his cabin where he used to live in Ireland is basically like, it was dirt cheap, but moving to Brighton, it's kind of like, holy fuck, I have to spend, what did he say, like 10, 20 times the amount of money that he has to spend when he lived in Ireland. He's a big YouTuber, he's fine. Plus he did buy a house, whereas before he basically had an apartment. So, yeah.
Speaking of YouTubers, did you see Markiplier's all his videos he did on whenever he was visiting Korea, I think it was?
I haven't yet. I've been like I said, I've been backlogged. I basically have got a huge backlog of videos because I watch Netflix. I watch nothing but Netflix for like almost a month. So essentially, I've got a month's worth of videos, of YouTube videos to watch through. I'm almost halfway through it. So they're talking about October, the start of October in a lot of the videos. So I'm guessing, yeah, I'm about a month behind, but I'm catching up. I'm skipping a bunch of stuff that's not important. So. But eventually I'll see it. I don't mind spoilers, by the way.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, it looks like he had a great time with visiting with like family and stuff. Yeah, really good.
I actually don't know where
And
that's.
he was trying some of the, I guess, like Korean candy. Whenever he did Korean candy.
Oh yeah, somebody told me about that. Not him doing it, but somebody told me how Korean candy is crazy. It's like, this is basically just melted sugar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a bear friend who basically went to Korea, and when he came back, he said that basically like that, you know, the Korean food, the street food, there's two forms of Korean street food. There's the candy, in which they basically do just try to sell you basically just melted sugar. And then there's all this other stuff. There's basically the rest of it, but it's like 50-50 candy and street food. It's weird, but I love that idea for some reason. When he said, if you're diabetic, then you can't go to Korea because you will die. You will die.
It is good. But yeah,
Oh.
my family has a history of diabetes. So.
Isn't Korea the place with the where they basically make what looks like noodles, but it's actually not noodles? It's like it's a tiny fraction of dough that they actually make noodles out of, but most of it is basically sugar.
Never heard that.
And
yeah.
They make it into like birds' nests and stuff, and it's like it's kind of like candy floss. They can actually stretch the dough out to make it look to thin it out so much that you basically end up with hair or candy floss, but it's not really candy floss because it's not the way that candy floss is normally made, because it's like noodles.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes, I remember seeing that and being like, actually, you know, I don't like candy floss, but they actually look kind of nice. But they make for the thicker noodles, they make things out of it, like they make like birds' nests and try to make like little sculptures out of it and stuff like that, because it hardens really easy when it dries out. So, but yeah, I always thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it does sound interesting. Sounds like something cool to see. Yeah. Sticking on if we're going to other places, have you watched Bears That Bake any?
What's that?
Bears That Bake is the YouTube channel.
Bears That Bake.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just that. Ever since me, Ian, and somebody else basically wanted to make a bear cooking show on YouTube, there have been so many that just randomly popped up that have way better production value because they're fake. They're all fake. There was like the three bears. There was the three bears who weren't bears. Not one of them had fat on them. I saw it. But the Bears That Bake, really. I haven't seen it.
They look very chunky and nice, but and you know, they don't really have that great production value, but they do have some good stuff on there. But recently they did a video from Taiwan. They were on vacation in Taiwan, and they were showing all pictures of the food stands and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Just I think that. They had like this one spot where there was just like a row of pachinko machines where you could. It was the claw machine where you could grab toys and whatever else.
The Bears That Bake. I just say that they're all very, very fake because they basically they try to appear genuine, and it's all set up. Like everything they do is all set up. But I haven't heard of the Bears That Bake. So basically, it literally could just be some bears that decided they want to make a YouTube channel. Who knows?
Well, yeah, that's basically what it is. Because Apollo, because two of the guys, one who's like Asian chubby, and the other one was American chubby. Apollo, they're actually a couple, and Apollo, they're both of their Instagrams, and yeah.
Yeah, but even those can be faked. Sorry, it's just that. Like I said, I've seen one that looked like it was made by a TV company. You know, I've seen more than one that looked like it was made by a TV company, and they were all bitchy with each other, like oh, look how we are all spontaneous. It was like.
No. I can't speak on any of the other ones. This is just one that I was particularly interested in.
It's almost like they were looking at the camera, going, "See, chemistry." It's like, fuck off! I can tell this is all fake. You're wearing lapel mics. You know? The guy behind the camera is wearing a lapel mic as well. Okay, this isn't all just captured footage or captured audio. This is intentionally captured audio.
Yeah.
But we're so quirky. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, I don't think they're like that. They're pretty genuine. So.
It's like there's one episode like there was an episode, their featured episode where because I wanted to watch it. I actually wanted to watch it because it sounded like a good show. But it's just that there's one of them it had like a featured episode, and they were going to make cupcakes or something. I don't know. They were basically a baking show. They weren't really a cooking show. They were more like a baking show. But it was like one bear and a couple of gay guys. and it was just so painful. It's like the bear guy was the one that was cooking, and he was obviously the one that was the chef, and the other two guys were just helping. But no, they did this whole thing of like they dropped a bunch of confetti on them because it's like it was a celebration or something. And like and they all acted as if they were like terrified of the confetti because they never knew, they didn't suspect that it would happen. And it's like, how did you not see it? That's a lot of confetti. That's obviously just being dumped on you. How can you not see this? What's wrong with you people? But it was for the they were trying to appear genuine, and it's like this is so fake. This is all so fake, and this is obviously a set. This isn't just somebody's kitchen. It's so crazy. But yeah. So yeah, cooking shows on YouTube for just especially the random gay ones that popped up again after suspiciously close to when me and Ian were discussing making a baking show was annoying. I just found it hilarious, basically, that like literally the week after me and Ian first proposed the idea, and he was like super on board with it, suddenly it was just like an ad appeared on YouTube just before I watched the video, and it was the three bears, and then I was like, no, because literally we were going to call our show The Three Bears. Well, yeah, it was like the Three Baking Bears or something like that. I don't know. We were brainstorming ideas anyway. But yeah, annoying. Well, that sounds cringeworthy. And I know, Panafolks, that's what I mean. It was terrible. It was. Isn't there? There's a guy that there's somebody was actually talking about this the other day. Does anybody know about the Nostalgia Chick? Yeah, she did a whole program recently on how why YouTube is such a big thing, and the whole process of why YouTubers are the way that they are and all that stuff. And it wasn't criticizing. Well, it wasn't intentionally trying to criticize them or anything, but she used an example of a cooking show that she used to like, and how the production values have gone up, and how basically the chemistry of that particular cooking show that she likes has evolved and stuff, and how basically it's in response to a new kind of cooking show that appeared on YouTube, which was like The Guy That Cooks or something like that, and the Tasty Network and all that stuff. And she was explaining how basically how it's all incredibly fake. And I'm just realizing now that basically it's basically everything I just said, but with this one guy in particular as an example.
I mean, I suppose to be expected just because of how YouTube has become such a big platform that so many of the things are like flocking to it. It's kind of hard to find people who want to be like genuine. Who want to.
Well, no, that's exactly the point. She was basically saying that it's the it's the genuine quality that gets shows picked up by TV networks and stuff. That like this woman that made her cooking, she made cake creations or something like that. She basically she was doing it for fun and to promote her business, her personal business, whereas these people are are trying to sell their genuine quality by basically copying her, but doing it better with slightly more production value, because they're not selling anything. You know, she's the other show is generally trying to just like promote her business and trying to sell like merch and stuff for her business, and she's being very, very honest and open and genuine about it, and it makes sense and it's funny. But she was actually literally saying that this other thing is not trying to sell anything. They're literally just trying to sell themselves so that they can get a cooking show on TV. And how genuine, the genuality of everything is actually a quality that is what they're selling and what everybody tries to sell on YouTube and stuff like that. Whereas like they are just plain YouTubers that, like me, just like talking to people, being genuine because we are genuine. I just realized that I'm talking about myself slightly. I'm gonna go. I feel like there's a big microscope on me now. But yeah, YouTube is just a place that people go to talk about stuff, but of course it's gonna be used to sell shit as well. So yeah. So I was just like, what am I trying to sell? How can I sell shit?
No idea, but I feel like you've been shitting on my interests and literal. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I've been shitting on your interests? What?
No, I'm just kidding. No, I was trying to.
No, what did you say?
No, like I was trying to make a joke about how I've been trying to. I was trying to like spotlight this channel and how I don't know. You kind of went off on a tangent about how people like aren't that genuine. Or, I don't know. But,
well, I was just talking about what she was saying. How can wiping my eye generate more gunk? That doesn't make sense.
like something
I think it's about my bedtime. Well, if you just stick around, Panda Fox, for a couple more minutes, then I'm gonna go too. So I will say goodbye to everybody.
I've been watching so many of that bingo the other videos.
What?
There's an author named Bingo the channel, and I've been watching it.
Or an actual author.
An actual author.
Huh.
A baby author. They squeak, so that's so cute.
Well, otters are adorable.
What's so funny? There's this one video where they were cleaning out its cage, and they were taking this little toilet area to, I guess, clean it or whatever. And the other was squeaking, and it was like trying to hold the toilet as they were taking it out. It's like, no, don't take it. Don't take it. It's mine.
Ricky. Well, thanks everybody for cheering off for a little bit at least. I do appreciate it. Oh, big stretch. Okay. Belly rubs. And oh, there's another spider up here. And belly salute. Buddy Jake. Weird. Anyway. I got a fat guy shirt today, by the way. Like a proper fat guy shirt. Do you know how how I know it's a fat guy shirt?
How?
It's got Goodyear written on it. I saw it in the supermarket. I was like, oh yep, mine. And it came in a big size, so that was pretty good.
It's like the John Deere clothing.
Mm.
Trucker hats.